Welcome to Thirsty Thursday. I'm so excited for this one. I'm really, really excited, guys. So I'm going to get this pulled up and make sure I can see comments.
Welcome.
Yep, it's there. Played out loud. Okay, so I'm going to wait just a minute and let everyone hop on, share this over in the event, do all that good stuff that we got to do before we start talking. Here's the link. Delete it. Post. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we are live. We're ready to go. Websites. Websites are super freaking fun for me to talk about. I honestly love talking about websites. I could talk about them all freaking day, every day, and never get sick of it. Luckily, people have a shit ton of questions about websites usually. There are a bajillion ways to do it, just like with everything else in business and in life. There's a million different ways to build a website. There's not a lot of right and wrong. there is in terms of design. Let me just say that. There's some wrong design that can hurt you, but in reality, your website should just be a representation of you and your business and how you want to interact with your clients. So, like I just said a second ago, there are 80 bajillion things that I could talk about websites. So today, to keep us focused and in our 30-minute time frame, because ain't nobody got time for long videos, I want to talk about the 3 most important things that I hear all the freaking time. So stuff that I like, the stuff that I get questions about, and things that I just see when I'm looking at other people's websites, like common issues and how to fix them easily and quickly. So these are all going to be really, really simple things that I want you to start thinking about your website. And this isn't a training where it's like, go and mess with the layout, or go put in 20 different more colors, or go try 15 different fonts. This is not a design training. This is a website structure training, because before all of that, we have to make sure that our websites are set up in a way that's going to actually help us get clients. Like, it doesn't freaking matter if your website is pretty if it doesn't work for you, right? We have to be focused on those important pieces. So before I dig into that, I see a couple people hopped on live, so always say hi. Let me know that you're here. Ask any questions. You guys, hold on, time out. Let's talk about the challenge that's coming up for a second. This new challenge that's starting in like a week and a half. I am so effing excited about it. If you haven't signed up yet, go over in the events. It's over there. It's also pinned in the announcements section. But we're going to be talking about how to create really powerful connections with people online really, really fast. So I know there are a ton of new people in this group right now who are here for that challenge. We started promoting it. I started promoting it on Tuesday, and we already have 76 people signed up for it. So it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. So for those of you that are new here and haven't been on a Thirsty Thursday call yet, really the only important thing to know is that I hate staring at myself and talking to myself. So talk to me, give me hearts, give me comments. Let me know if you have any questions at all. That's really the purpose of these calls, right? Is yes, you get training, but showing up live, you get to ask any questions that you have and get feedback from me on the spot, which is super, super cool, right? Without having to pay thousands of dollars from my brain on your stuff. So that's what Thirsty Thursday is really about, since we have new people. So let me get back. Hi, Tammy and Karen. Yes, so glad you guys are here. So just a quick recap. Hey, Sherry. It's nice to see you here, too. I'm super excited. I said Sherry, and my phone thought Siri popped up and said that I was talking to her. Anyway. Okay, so just a quick recap, and then we'll dig in. This is not a design training. This is not a how to pick your fonts and how to pick your colors training, because none of that shit matters until you really figure out your structure on your website. We have to set up our websites in a way that work for us. We want them to help us get clients. And you can put all the lipstick that you want on the pig, but you have to have the structure in place in order for it to be effective. And that's what this training is about. I'm going to talk about the 3 most common issues that I see with websites and how to fix them quickly and easily. They're super, super simple things. Okay, first thing. Okay. Sorry, my mouth's just frozen. Number one common website mistake that I see is not taking into account where your customer or client is in their journey. So what I mean by that is a lot of times we'll be, especially in online businesses, this is obvious, most of these trainings are focused on online businesses. So if you're in person and you have a specific question, let me know. But a lot of times we go into Facebook groups, we go on Instagram, we talk about our things, we have pins on Pinterest, whatever our marketing strategy is, however we're driving traffic to our website, a lot of times we forget to take that into account when we're actually planning our website out, right? So one of the most common questions I get is, what goes on each page? Like, what do I put on my home page? What do I put on my about page? How do I know what goes there? And the way that you know what goes there is understanding where they are in their client journey. So for me, I pretty much stick to Facebook and Instagram. That's really the only places I ever do anything other than my quiz on Pinterest. I have promoted pins on Pinterest for my quiz, and they go to a blog post. So if somebody is landing on my website, I know exactly where they came from. I know that if they came from Facebook, they've probably only seen, that one post that I was, talking about a challenge or promoting my quiz or whatever it was that I was doing. That's all they know about me. So that tells me what I need to put on the website. So if I'm directing them to my homepage of my website, I have to keep in mind, maybe they've just heard that I exist and they don't know anything about branding at all. If they come from my quiz, they're trying to get more personality in their brand. That's all I know about them. So it's my responsibility then to fill in the rest of the gaps. So number one, like homework for number one, is really to just sit down and plan out your customer journey and how they are getting to your website. So the homepage and the about page are the easiest ones to do because they should be the most general and talk about your overarching message and what the purpose of your business really is and how you help them. It needs to be, powerful and good copy, but as far as the content, that's the easiest content because that's the overarching stuff. And then when you get into the rest of the pages, that's where you really focus on that client journey. So think about where they are when they first meet you. What do they know? What do they know to be true? And this is going to vary, obviously, depending on what kind of business you're in. But like for me, with branding, people have very, very different definitions of what branding means, right? When you first come into my world, your definition of branding is probably totally different from someone else who just came into this group. So it's my job then to kind of start that re-education process a little bit to get you to where you need to be to get the most out of it, right? And so your business might look a little bit different. Maybe you're doing something like that everybody just knows what it is already. If you're like a lawnmower or whatever, stuff like that is definitely a lot easier. But it's really taking into account that journey and where they are and what do they need to know to get to that next step. So for me, the next step would be to book a call or book an intensive or book a one-on-one program, whatever it is. So then the things that need to go on the webpage are what they need to know to make that decision. So they've landed here based on one Facebook post. Now the rest of the page needs to tell them everything they need to know in order to make their decision on if it's right for them to move forward and nothing else. So a lot of times what happens is people put a whole bunch of crap that's not necessary on their webpage. You're linking to a bunch of different places. You have every blog post you've ever written on your homepage, like all of this stuff that is really just distracting them from the core message and the what they need to do to decide if they want to move forward with you or not. Websites, as a general rule, the simpler that they are, the better. Keep it really, really simple and you'll be good. So that is number one. Let me know, again, if you have any questions, and then I'm just going to move on to number two. So, or at least give me like a thumbs up or a yes, or tell me if that makes sense, if we're on the right track. If you have any more follow-up questions. Oh, this is Thirsty Thursday too for those new people. So Thirsty Thursday, we drink booze if we want to, obviously. You don't have to drink booze. I try to drink booze on Thursday for Thirsty Thursday calls. I got my beer today. It's kind of it's not really Stella. I love my Stella glass and I wanted to use it, but I don't ever buy Stella, so it's fun. Okay, so number two then, great info, thank you. Number two then is the copy. The copy is the hardest part of the website, right? For most people. So the important things you want to focus on with copy is to not sound like a freaking robot. That's the number one goal with your website copy. And the best way to do that is to just write like you speak. And it's much harder for people to do that. Like when I first started my business, I came from corporate. So I was used to sitting in my cube and saying things a certain way and saying things how you're supposed to say them and doing what you should do. All of that stuff gets in your head, right? And it makes it really hard to write copy that sounds like ourselves. Sorry, my dog just made a really weird noise. I don't know if you could hear it through the microphone. Anyway, it can get in our heads, right? And it's really hard to get out of that mindset and just start talking like an actual human being again. But it's really, really important. That is like the main thing with the website. Yes, we want it to look pretty. Yes, we want it to, feel like a good representation of us. But if it's not saying the right things, if it's not, how do I want to word this? If it's not articulating the message in a way that your ideal client gets it and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I need this in my life. I need to work with this person, then you're missing the mark. You're missing a huge opportunity. Anything else, like if you have a website and you're not doing that, it's a waste of your time. If you're just going to put up a website that looks pretty and just is a list of your services and it's like, I help clients, set up systems or do funnels or, organize their life. If that's all you're going to do, it's a waste of your time. Don't even bother. You don't need to do that. The point of a website is to help you build the relationship and build that know, like, and trust factor on autopilot without you having to be involved in every single step of the process, right? So that copy really comes into play there. The copy comes in when you're anticipating their needs and saying things in a way that they understand them and still in a way that feels like you and your voice. So my tricks here, my my homework for this part is to not think about it as copy at all. Pretend like you're sitting down at lunch with your best friend and you're explaining what you do in your business and why you do it and how it blows people's freaking minds because it's so good and you just change everybody's life with how amazing your stuff is. Pretend you're having that conversation with your best friend. Those are the words that you need to use on your website. That is exactly what you need to say. And again, it's that mindset stuff that comes in there where it's like, I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if I should be, doing this, whatever. But if we're in this group, it's because we want to have brands that are accurate representation of us, right? We want it to feel like us and be like us. And it can be scary sometimes because, we're going to push people away probably, but we're attracting the right people. We only want to work with our ideal clients, and we're only interested in saying the things that our actual ideal clients that we want to work with every single day are going to get. So focusing your copy on, saying it like you would just normally say it or talking to your BFF, that's what's going to get you that really powerful copy that sounds like the real you. So that was number 2. Christy, hello. Okay, so quick recap then. Number 1, focus on where they are in their journey. Understand how people are getting to your website, where they're coming from, what they need in order to get to that next step, to get to that next level. You have to know what that next level is first, right? So before you ever, plan out what's on each page, you need to plan out the whole structure of your website. What is the purpose? Do you want them to sign up for your freebie, or do you want them to book a call with you? Or what is your goal? What's your goal for your website? And then figure out what content needs to be on each page to help get them there, guide them there through that process. So when they land there from Facebook or Instagram or wherever it is, that they know what the next logical step is, and you're leading them to where you want to go. And then step 2 is that copy. That's where that copy comes in. You can't just say, click here and expect people to get it. You have to articulate the value and tell them what they're going to get out of it. Especially on websites, people are so freaking selfish. People are selfish. And that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as you understand that. So just saying, click here, just saying, sign up for my newsletter, just saying, book a call, that shit doesn't work. That doesn't work anymore. People are selfish. They need to know exactly what they're gonna get out of it, and they need to know that they're not wasting their time by doing something like that. They're not wasting space in their inbox or time on their calendar to talk to somebody who's not the right fit for them. So putting all this stuff on the website is saving you so much time. It's like pre-qualifying your clients, right? And making sure you're a good fit for them and for you before you ever get on the phone. Copy is the way that you do that. So pretend like you're talking to your best friend, and if you need to, just transcribe your voice. Like turn on your phone, recorder, and just record your voice while you're talking and then transcribe it and put that on your website. That's like the number one easiest way to get awesome website copy. Because a lot of times you really just need a starting point, right? It's like that horrible thing where you're just staring at the blank page and you're like, oh my God, what do I need to write? I don't know what goes here. That's what makes it super overwhelming. That's the worst part of the process, is when you have nothing. So just record yourself talking, transcribe it, and boom, you have a starting point. You can edit from there. You can make it, however you want it to be, but just get that starting point. Go with a shitty first draft and you'll be golden. Just start there. So that was 1 and 2. Last one, number 3. Build the suspense. My content is amazing. Thank you. I'll take that compliment. I like that compliment. Okay, so last one. I know I said that this wasn't a design thing. This isn't a design training, and it's still really not. But this last one is so important. Visual hierarchy on a website. This is the number one most common problem that I see on websites. Like, almost every single person that comes in, they're like, hey, will you look at my website? Well, I used to do website assessments all the time. This is the number one thing that I tell people at almost every single website I look like. Use more fucking white space. All the white space. You need all of it. So much white space. So people do not want to read giant blobs of text. So when you land on your homepage or your about page and you're saying all these amazing magical things that just tell how freaking transformative your business is and all the magical things that you can do for your clients, it doesn't matter how good the copy is if no one reads it, because it's overwhelming and a giant blob of text. Nobody wants to read that, right? It's super, super important to use visual hierarchy. This is, like I said, the most common problem I see, but it's also the easiest one to fix because you don't have to redo anything. Like, if your copy is already good, you feel really good about it, just hit enter. Put more spaces in between the lines. Put headlines above things. Make things bold. Make things italic. Make things, or use it to your advantage. Draw people's eye where you want it to go. Because, again, people are lazy. Aside from it looking bad and no one reading it, people are freaking lazy, and people skim web pages. I know, like, it kind of breaks your heart when you think about all the time you spend writing copy for your website, and it's like, everybody needs to read every word. It's so important, and I'm sure that it is, but nobody's going to do that. People don't read every word of your website. So you want to make it really, really easy for them to find the main points. So if they're just skimming through, you don't want them to leave without getting the main idea. You don't want them to leave without knowing, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. I need this in my life. Right? Right? Yes. Okay. Rant over. But use freaking white space. Use visual hierarchy. Break up your text. Use headlines. Use bold. Use italics. Every freaking platform lets you do that. It doesn't matter if you have the cheapest shit out there. You can make things bold, and you can make things italic, and you can hit enter more than one time. Break it up, and that will go so far. If you do nothing else on your website, just do that. Do not have giant blobs of text, and you'll be good. Cool. That's all I got today. I wanted to keep this one super simple. I said this at the beginning, but I know a few people joined late. Like, I could talk about websites for years and years and never cover all of the things. So I wanted to keep this one, these 3 main problems that I hear about most often. So you need to focus on the journey, you need to write the copy that they understand, and you need to break it up, not have it giant blobs of text. So that is it for Thirsty Thursday today. If anybody has any comments or questions, let me know that you're watching the replay. You can type in, hello, I'm watching the replay. I have this question. Let me know. That's what this group is for. So I will be back. I don't even know when I'll be back. Spotlight Sunday, I guess. We'll be back. And then we have the challenge coming up. If you haven't signed up for the challenge yet, it's going to be so good. I'm so excited about the challenge. We're going to go a lot deeper into that copywriting stuff and how to get in your ideal client's head so that you know what words to say, you know what you need to, how you need to articulate things so that they're saying, oh my gosh, yes, I need it. That's our goal. So the challenge is going to be awesome. I hope to see you all there, and I will talk to you later. Have a great Thursday evening. Yeah.